A lot of people who watch my channel are actually really worried. I'm worried as well. Sometimes when I look at the content, AI generated, some people are getting replaced, like editors used to cut those short videos, now we use an app to do that. What's going on? Like, should we be afraid?
I always recommend hope versus fear, and curiosity and optimism versus, paranoia. But it doesn't mean that it isn't painful to do the transition. So yes, AI tools will be available in a small number of years for everything. And there'll be AI tools for not just the thing I've created with Reid AI, but like real-time interaction with Reid AI and all the rest of that, and that will happen. But what we should be doing is figuring out, how do we add our own creativity? I mean, you're one of the creators and everything else. How do we add our own creativity and amplify ourselves with the tools? So like, for example, of course you could have an AI just do all your short editing. I bet you the AI doing your short editing is not as good as the AI plus a human doing it. And a human using it can now do a whole bunch more than they did before. And they might be able to say, let's create 15 different versions and like test them to see which are good and do that. And all of a sudden you have that acceleration of superpower. So fear is generally best converted to curiosity. That doesn't mean it won't be difficult. And that doesn't mean that you won't be learning new things.
Because AI will be learning new things and becoming better and better.
Exactly. But it's part of the reason why I encourage people to go play with it, go try it, because as they realize it, they go, oh, I can still do these things using AI. So, for example, if I'm writing an essay, as opposed to starting with a blank page, I'm probably going to start with a GPT-4 prompt, right? And say, hey, I'm thinking about this, and this. I got this. Okay, now this is what I'm going to start working from in terms of how to do it. And that, by the way, just accelerates me and makes my ability to bring in my intelligence, as opposed to having to type a lot and stare at the blank page. I can move faster and get to more interesting things. And so it's a be curious and hopeful, but doesn't mean don't expect, potholes, transitions, difficulties. Those will be there too.
There are some skills that we need to learn in the next couple of years to not be left behind. Obviously, like testing apps, but also I've heard from someone that it's getting a lot easier to code. Like I can learn just some basic things and that use the Copilot tools and they will help me. Would you suggest doing that, or just wait another couple of years when we don't even need coding and we just talk to?
Well, so I think within this year, 2025, it'll quickly become that every engineer is using at least one Copilot agent, and that's part of what professional is. And I think perhaps by the end of next year, 2026, all of us will have a lightweight coding assistant. That doesn't mean it'll code the great iPhone app for you, or it will, invent that game that you've been thinking of. But it will help you do things like research, where you say, hey, bring these multiple information sources and documents and put them all together and generate a list of questions and then generate some provisional answers, and it will help you with that. And then the coding element will help pull all that stuff together, and that will be part of superpower that you and I will now have in that. Generally speaking, AI, I don't suggest waiting, because part of what you want to be doing, just like any new technological revolution, whether when YouTube was happening, when the internet's happening, the folks who go and adopt and play with it early then have a differential edge in the change that it means in the industry and their society. And so even though 3 years from now the coding tools will be, and agents will be much better than they are now, the people who started playing with them now will probably be the people who know how to use them and deploy them much more comfortably early.
Tell me, what are your 3 favorite AI apps?
My 3 favorite AI apps, I will say 4. Okay. All right, in part because my own inflection, Pi, has to be one of them. So I'll be 3 in addition. ChatGPT, from kind of like a research assistant. Midjourney, from the creation and thinking of bringing me into kind of visual imagination and kind of being able to create things visually, which I never was able to do before. And then, partially because I've been thinking a lot about we as everyday people are all going to have a coding Copilot. So I've been playing a lot with Microsoft's Copilot and coding and getting myself back into that to understand how this is going to transform everyone's use of phones and computers.
Yeah, and the 4th is yours.
Yes, Inflections Pi, which part of it was train a chatbot to be as good at EQ as it is at IQ, to be kind of engaged and warm in the conversation. And I think we've actually had a great industry-wide impact, because I think as people have looked at it, they've gone, oh, that's really important. We're going to add some of that into what we're doing.